Okay, so let's unpack this. I have to be honest, I looked at the spec sheet for this NTI VOPEX unit.
The C5VA-4C1000.
Exactly. And I genuinely thought, this has to be a typo.
Eh. Which part caught your eye?
The range. I mean, we're talking about sending an analog VGA video signal.
Right, the old school blue connector.
1,000 feet. That's, what, 3 football fields?
It sounds impossible, doesn't it? Usually, if you try to run a standard VGA cable more than, say, 50 feet, your image just turns into a fuzzy mess.
Ghost town, yeah.
But no, the 1,000-foot range is real. And honestly, that's the mission for this deep dive. Figuring out how this piece of hardware basically cheats physics to keep our airports and movie theaters running.
So set the scene for us. This is not for my home office setup.
Oh, definitely not. This is an industrial-grade splitter. You plug in one computer, and it duplicates that screen to 4 or even 8 monitors spread across a huge facility.
Like the flight arrival screens at an airport.
That's the perfect example. Or digital menus at a food court, signage at a convention center.
Okay, but how does it actually handle that distance? You said standard cables fail.
That's the really clever part. It doesn't use VGA cables for the long haul. It takes that analog signal and converts it so it can travel over CT5 or CT6 UTP cable.
UTP, that's just standard Ethernet cable, right? The same stuff I have plugged into my router.
The very same, unshielded twisted pair. It's cheap, it's flexible, and every contractor knows how to run it through walls. But the real magic isn't just the distance, it's the resolution it maintains.
Right, because you'd expect it to get super pixelated or blurry.
You would. But NTI's datasheet claims that even at 600 feet, you're still getting 2048 by 1536 resolution.
Whoa, that's significantly sharper than standard 1080p HD.
It is. And even if you push it to the absolute limit, the full 1,000 feet, you're still getting a very crisp 1920 by 1200.
Which is critical if you're trying to read tiny flight numbers from across a terminal.
Non-negotiable. And it's not just video.
It's carrying audio, too.
It is, yeah. CD quality stereo audio right alongside the video. So for a point-of-purchase display with a voiceover, everything arrives perfectly in sync.
Now, this is where it got really interesting for me. The spec sheet used this term, pure hardware. And at first, it just sounds like a marketing buzzword. But it's actually critical here, isn't it?
It is everything. It's all about failure points. I mean, think about it. If you use a software-based solution, you're relying on an operating system.
And we all know how reliable those can be.
Imagine a random Windows update forces a restart during peak travel hours.
Oh, the dreaded blue screen of death in the middle of the departures board.
Exactly. Pure hardware means this VOPEX box has no drivers, no software to install or crash. It's totally invisible to the computer. You plug it in and it just works.
A true set-it-and-forget-it solution.
In a rugged steel box, no less. This thing is built for a server closet, not a desktop.
Okay, speaking of the hardware, I saw something about skew adjustment in the remote units. Can you break that down for me?
This is fascinating. So when you send an analog signal down 1,000 feet of twisted pair cable, the electricity carrying the color red might actually travel at a slightly different speed than the electricity for blue or green.
Wait, really? The colors literally arrive at different times?
I'm talking nanoseconds, but yes. On a high-res screen, that tiny delay makes the colors look like they're separating, almost like a bad 3D movie.
So you'd see color fringes on the text.
You would. The remote receiver at the far end of the cable actually measures that delay, that skew, and it electronically holds back the faster signals to let the slower ones catch up.
So it's reassembling the image perfectly at the finish line.
Precisely. And that's why you pay the premium. The base unit is around $700, which is, way too much for a hobbyist. But it's cheap insurance for a facilities manager at LAX.
It really does change your perspective. The next time you're in an airport rushing to check a gate change, just remember there's probably a little steel box like this VOPEX sitting in a dark room somewhere.
A quarter mile away, just doing its job, the invisible workhorse.
Which I think leaves you with a really interesting thought to mull over.
Go on.
We are so obsessed with the latest, the greatest digital wireless tech. Everything has to be cutting edge.
Always.
But when absolute fail-safe reliability is the only thing that matters.
We still go back to copper wires and analog signals.
So maybe old school isn't outdated at all. Maybe, in some cases, it's just the most robust solution we've ever designed.
It's certainly something to think about.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you on the next one.